What's going on, everybody? This is SweetHub, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 different bash commands that are absolutely essential for web development. Now, these are commands that I use both professionally and personally for all of my web development projects, and I think these commands are going to help you improve your developer experience. So, the first command we're going to be going over is the echo command, and the echo command is essentially a utility which allows you to print the contents of a string to standard output. So for example, let's say I put the string hello there. You'll see that gets printed out to standard output. Now, another use case for the echo command is, let's say you have some sort of environment variable that gets set, and you want to print the contents of that environment variable. So in this edge case, I have node_env. And if I want to print that out to standard output, I can also use that for my echo command as an argument. Another example would be, let's say I have all these files within the current directory, and I want to print to standard output all the files that end with the .go extension. So using the echo command, I can do .star.go, and essentially this will find all the files with the .go extension and print them out to the standard output. So as you can see, we have cat.go, hello.go, and these were the files that had the .go extension. So that was the first command. Now moving on to the second command is we're going to be going over the cat command. And the cat command is essentially a command which stands for concatenate and print all files. So it'll basically take the contents of a file and print it out to the standard output for you. So a really good edge case for this is, let's say you quickly want to just print the contents of a file to standard output, and you don't want to go and open up your integrated development environment. So in here, I could just go cat, and I'll do cat.go, and then you'll see I'll get all the values from the file, and it gets printed out to standard output. So it's just a really quick and nifty way to get the contents of a file and print them out to the standard output. So doing this again, we're going to do it with the .txt file this time. Just do file name.txt. You'll see it sends out the hello, and it's just a really quick way to do things, and I think it's really helpful because I don't have to open up any of my code editors, and it's really quick. So moving on now to the third command is the nano command. And the nano command is a small editor for the terminal, and it allows you to make quick edits to a file without having to open it in IDE. Now, one of the main reasons why I really like the nano command is generally what ends up happening is I like to use VS Code. So what I'll end up doing is I'll go into some directory, right, and then what I'll do is I'll go into that directory and then I'll open up the folder, or perhaps I'll find the folder and open it up. But the problem with that is sometimes that takes quite the amount of time, and maybe I want to do everything within the same command line interface. So using the nano command, what I can do is I can open up files essentially within the relative path as well as an absolute path. So for example, let's say I want to edit the contents of this this cat.go file, right? I can go ahead, go in here, make the edits that I need to make, and then Control X, and it'll essentially save the contents of the file. Now let's say I want to do it for now the test.js file, right? I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just add some contents to the file. Just gonna, right? Then we're going to do Control X, and then we're going to hit Y for yes, and then we're going to hit Enter to save the changes. And now if we go ahead and see that, you'll see it appends the values to the file, and we're good to go. And as I mentioned, the nano command is very helpful in scenarios where you don't want to open up your integrated development environment and you just want to make quick edits to a file. I'll use this very often if I'm, let's say, editing values for environment variables within like my bash profile, or maybe an npm-rc file. Something of that sort is a very good edge case to use the nano command. Now moving on, we are now going to use these, we're going to go over the source command. And the source command is a way for you to read and execute commands from a specified file into the current shell environment. So let's say in here, I'm going to create a new file, and we're just going to call this .env. Okay. We're also going to use the nano command that we previously used. And inside of this env file, I'm going to export I'm going to export node_env, and I'm going to set this to dev_1, okay? Now, what usually happens, or what generally most people do in this scenario, is they'll close out of their terminal session, reload the terminal session to get those environment variables to load. Now, the most simplistic way from my perspective, where you don't have to open up a file or close your actual terminal session, is you can use the source command. So I can now use the source command, source up that .env file, and now if I echo node_env, you'll now see that it now points to dev_1. Now, this is very helpful in scenarios where, let's say you have multiple different servers running, you've got multiple different tabs, you don't want to close out of your entire terminal session just to load up some environment variables. The source command is going to be your best friend in that scenario. Now, going over to the last and final command is we're going to be going over the man command. Now, it's used as that, and essentially man is short for manual. It's essentially the encyclopedia for all bash commands within the terminal. So for example, if you've ever found a command through online or perhaps while working and you just didn't know what the purpose of this command was, the man command is going to help you understand what the description of that command does, as well as some of the arguments that it takes. So let's use nano for our use case. We'll see we get the name, we'll get a little bit of a description, and then we'll also get some options that we can pass to the nano command. Same thing with all the other commands that we've used. So we can do man, and let's say we want to do cat. We can see it concatenates and prints the files of a concatenate and print files, and we also get a list of all the options that this command does. So as you can see, the manual command is a lot quicker than perhaps going to Google and searching up what the command does itself. And without further ado, guys, this will conclude my 5 essential commands that I use both personally and professionally. I hope these commands, you've learned something new. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.